Welcome into today's 820 discussion, your urgency meeting, your 500 seconds about resilience that we all share, that I hope to contribute to you on your journey as this helps me on my journey. Today's topic is called Engineer in Training. I hope that sounds as funny as it does to me and to you. Now, by and through formal education and school, I can claim the accomplishment of understanding engineering. But there are so many disciplines and applications for that title and training and certification. So this discourse, this discussion, is not about gloating over a diploma on the wall or a certificate in my pocket. I have no idea when I was in school about how the discipline of engineering would ever apply to actual life and death situations. But as we all know, and I hope you can attest to this, life is not linear. We will encounter and experience twists and turns, even dead ends on a journey that we may be on today. Of course, there are many other formal and informal disciplines that can influence our approaches to resolving problems or getting through a situation or addressing a challenge. Similarly, there are many ways to get to this topic or this outline approach to life called resilience. We will never have just one problem to solve any given time, any given day. Very rarely do you have just one problem that day to work on. And while I would never concede to that thing called multitasking, at best, we can be very, very good and efficient serial taskers, not multitaskers. And as I reflect on my childhood, on my engineer in training mode, unbeknownst to me then, I can infer my potential engineering mind from two powerful examples and one minor example. The first major example was from my grandfather, and the only father I ever knew. I call him Pop. That man, my grandfather, not only built the family that I enjoy still today, he built with his hands and sweat and blood and patience everything for that family. The second example was my Uncle Mike, an electrical engineer and musical prowess that I grew up with and around for most of my first 13 years of my life. I had a front row seat of this guy in a lot of his work in electrical engineering and his work as a bona fide multi-instrumentalist. Those two men remain the standards for me in applying structure and method and models to be applied to evolving, ever-changing conditions. The third and last minor example came from me back then, within me. But given the two strong and resolute examples of Pop and Mike, I wanted to take things apart to see how they worked. That was my fledgling, curious, quasi-engineering skill set to take things apart. I get pretty good at that. I got a lot of trouble too doing just that, taking things apart. But like on things like a vacuum cleaner, an old television, or lamp, they were all perfectly working fine before my fledgling engineer hands and minds and training efforts took place. I hadn't considered, however, I hadn't thought through this part, the reverse engineering thing. How to reproduce the original thing I took apart. I got it back together pretty much in physical, looks like the same thing. And it would generally operate kind of sort of like before. Just a few pieces still left on the floor and not quite in the original product. Not by design, but maybe, bear with me, maybe I was shooting for efficiency and minimizing waste in production. Maybe my own early variation on Six Sigma training that would happen to me decades later. I don't know, maybe I was pre-training for that certification as a Six Sigma, Lean Six Sigma process kind of guy. I don't know. Anyway, I hope that this story helps you or assists you in your day to day. I'm getting better at the forward and reverse engineering thing now. Of course, decades later, many experiences and lessons and successes and failures in that journey from 13 to 60s. That's a long time. It takes a while. I'm a slow student. Shoot me. But I'm getting better now at both the forward and reverse engineering on a problem or a situation about what's in front of me and the multiple problems that I will encounter every day. I do want to come undone, as I said before in another episode, about what's been done in the past. For example, take me apart, put myself back together without the extra parts or baggage going forward. If you have heard another couple of episodes why I mentioned only one carry-on allowed. Again, it is tied into what we do when we fly on airplanes as passengers, but it is relevant to even day-to-day, moment-to-moment engagements with ourselves, with our Creator, with people we're going to meet in this life. Don't carry a lot of garbage with you. Don't become a hoarder of things that you have or had and are missing and you feel less. In this case, take it from me, and in this episode, sometimes less is more, meaning less gives you more flexibility, more adaptability, more acceptance of things you cannot control, and really things you really don't even own. You don't own yourself, but you can own this moment. How? By placing yourself fully into it and expecting that this is the only one you have, and you can give everything you have to this moment. Yeah, you might get another one. I might talk to you again tomorrow, but if not, let's make this one unique to you and full of you. Stay present. Stay current. No matter where you are, remember, it's always 8:20.